Bailey Chongqing explained to Zhu Zheng about the origin of Yuan Kongye. The report said that Yuan Kongye died without a complete body, and his origin also dissipated between heaven and earth. Zhu Zheng did not have any doubts about this report. It was nothing more than two reasons. First, he believed in the loyalty of the investigation team, and the members of the investigation team had no need to hide. If they got the origin and became stronger, they would be trained by the region. Second, in the past missions there were fierce battles, and the aliens died without a complete body, and the origin collapsed from time to time. Not to mention this level of war, countless casualties, and millions of people died in a city. Then it is reasonable for Yuan Kongye's origin to dissipate. Although it is a pity, there is no way to blame anything. After a brief chat, Zhu Zheng looked at Bailey Chongqing, and a thoughtful light appeared in his eyes. Each of the 6 major investigation teams at the headquarters must have a powerful alien to lead the team. Now that Bian Zhenwu has died in battle, Blizzard City cannot find any other aliens with similar strength to Bian Zhenwu. Then Bailey Chongqing in front of him is the best candidate to replace the captain. Bailey Chongqing is quite strong. Although he is not as good as the captains of the 6 major investigation teams, he is still better than ordinary team members. The key is that he has rich experience in carrying out tasks and has considerable prestige in the team. Therefore, Zhu Zheng raised his head and said to Bailey Chongqing seriously, "Bailey Chongqing, now that Bian Zhenwu has died in battle, I am very sad, but the position of the investigation team cannot be vacant. From today on, you will be the captain of the Black Robe team." Bailey Chongqing's majestic body trembled suddenly, and his eyes could not stop the excitement. Although the captain and the deputy captain are only one word apart, the treatment is very different. This means that he and his family will be able to enjoy the A-level living treatment of Blizzard City in the future. Bailey Chongqing's eyes were filled with tears, and he quickly stood up and saluted Zhu Zheng. "Thank you, Commander, for your cultivation." Bailey Chongqing will do his best to contribute all his strength to the Commander and Blizzard City. Zhu Zheng nodded. "Well, the official appointment documents will be in your hands in the next 2 days. In addition, as for Bian Zhenwu, this mission will be based on your application, and he will be awarded the first-class merit individually, and your Black Robe squad will be awarded the first-class merit collectively. His family enjoys the treatment of martyrs' relatives and can always enjoy the A-level living materials supply from the headquarters." Bailey Chongqing nodded excitedly. "Thank you, Commander." Bailey Chongqing left Zhu Zheng's office. When he walked out of the door, although the weather outside was gloomy, the light was particularly abundant. He was in a very good mood. Although he had just lied to Zhu Zheng and concealed some of Zhang Yi's information, this result made everyone happy. Zhang Yi did not have to come to Blizzard City as he wished. Bailey Chongqing became the captain, and the fallen Bian Zhenwu inexplicably got the first-class merit, and from now on his wife and children will have no worries about food and clothing. This result couldn't be better. Just as Bailey Chongqing was sighing, a cold voice came from not far away. "Deputy Captain Bailey, no, I should call you Captain Bailey now." Bailey Chongqing turned his head and saw a woman in a white coat walking towards him. She was tall, with a lazy expression and a hint of indifference, and her long hair was casually tied up with a ballpoint pen. When Bailey Chongqing saw her, a smile immediately appeared on his face. It turns out to be Professor Shen. The person who came was Li Lingxue, the chief professor of the Scientific Research Department of Blizzard City. In Blizzard City, few people dared not give face to the Scientific Research Department, because after the arrival of the era of Great Mutation, the role they can play is even stronger than that of the army. Li Lingxue came over and said lazily, "Where is the thing you were talking about?" "Oh, here. I said that after reporting to the Commander-in-Chief, I would personally deliver it to you." Bailey Chongqing took out a silver metal box from the pocket of his combat uniform and handed it to Li Lingxue. Li Lingxue looked at the box curiously. "Is this the mutant plant you talked about?" Bailey Chongqing nodded. "It has a very strong growth ability, and it can also produce zombie viruses that can infect the host." Li Lingxue raised her eyebrows. "It doesn't sound very powerful." Bailey Chongqing looked a little embarrassed. This thing almost wiped out the entire Tianhai city. But in Li Lingxue's mouth, it seemed to have no effect. But it's no wonder. This Professor Li has studied too many strange things. Li Lingxue put away the box containing the blood-vine rhizome and went back without even saying hello. Bailey Chongqing was used to her attitude. This person is not arrogant, she is just not very interested in anything other than scientific research. He shrugged and turned to walk towards home. After Bailey Chongqing left the office, Zhu Zheng sat in a chair with a particularly solemn expression. The crisis level of Tianhai City, this time, is much higher than he imagined. The death of a captain-level figure was the first since the end of the world. And now it is only half a year away from the end of the world. Even if Blizzard City is full of talented people, it can't withstand such consumption. An idea that had long occurred to him emerged again at this time. Zhu Zheng crossed his hands and looked at the Blizzard City covered with snow outside the window. He murmured to himself, "It is difficult to maintain the stability of the Jiangnan region for a long time relying solely on the power of Blizzard City. It seems that we have to rely on the power of various places." He used the communicator to call his secretary Lan Xinqing in. Lan Xinqing came to Zhu Zheng's desk and said respectfully, "Commander, what do you want?" Zhu Zheng looked at him seriously. "Xinqing, issue a notice in my name immediately. The target is all forces of a certain scale in the entire Jiangnan region. Tell them that in 10 days, I will hold a meeting of aliens in the entire Jiangnan region in Blizzard City. Please be sure to come and participate." Lan Xinqing was slightly startled when he heard this, and then smiled and said, "Are you finally planning to integrate the power of the Jiangnan region?" Zhu Zheng's eyes flashed with a deep light. "I have been considering this plan for a long time. However, the death of Bian Zhenwu made me realize that I must speed up the pace and cannot delay any longer. The reason why I didn't do this in the past was because the time was not ripe at that time. Nowadays, countless forces of all sizes have formed in various cities, fighting and killing each other. Even if the Jiangnan region deters them with absolutely powerful forces, it does not have so much energy to manage them. After all, it is necessary to consider multiple issues such as blocked information channels and inconvenient transportation. Long-arm jurisdiction will always have many disadvantages. However, now, due to the situation, Zhu Zheng has to take action to integrate the power of the Jiangnan region in advance. Otherwise, relying solely on the power of Blizzard City to maintain stability will have too much impact on their core strength. Lan Xinqing bowed and said, "Yes, I will draft an edict immediately. All leaders of large-scale forces in the Jiangnan region must come here." He pushed his glass lenses, with a playful cold light in his eyes. "If any force dares not to obey the imperial edict, can I directly send an investigation team to eliminate them?" Zhu Zheng nodded. "Sure. If necessary, kill some of the offenders first. This meeting is mandatory and no one is allowed to not come. Otherwise, it will be regarded as disobedience to the Jiangnan region. If that's the case, there is no need for them to exist."